What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Prediction Princess. Now, Prediction Princess recently got some new support in Darkwing Blast, which is some pretty good cards, actually. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I run one copy of Prediction Princess Arrow Sylph. When Arrow Sylph is flipped, you can add one ritual spell card from your deck to your or graveyard to your hand. And this is not archetype specific, so you can add the Incantation Inception or any other ritual spell you do run. Also run one Prediction Princess Coin Norma. When this card is flipped, you can special summon level 3 or higher flip monster from your hand or deck in face down defense position. Although on the downside, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn except Prediction Princess monsters. But considering we only run the one of, this is a restriction that doesn't really come up too often. Also run two copies of the new Prediction Princess Bibliomuse. When this card is flipped, you can add one Prediction Princess monster except itself, and one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So this will literally get you a free ritual play, more or less. And if this card is true and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card in face down defense position. So you can literally flip it, grab a Prediction Princess ritual and spell ritual summon using this, because they're both the same level, then just special summon this back to use again. So this is definitely a really good card for this archetype. And that's all for the Prediction Princess monsters. To be honest, the Prediction Princess monsters, at least as far as like the flip monsters, or the non-ritual monsters, aren't really that great just because they are flip effects and they are very slow. Like if you compare it to like Necros, Drytron, Megalith, it's much slower to getting what it needs to because it is flip-based effects. So I tried to work around that to kind of help speed it up, and unfortunately the only way was to play not a lot of the effect monsters. Next, I run two Prediction Princess Territory. Territory has a really cool effect to where you can, as a quick effect, to change one face-down monster on the field to face-up attack position and one face-up monster to face-down defense position. So you can, that works on both your opponents and your own monsters. So it can trigger the flip monster's effects, or you can use it to disrupt plays during your opponent's turn. It's really whichever you want to do. Also run the one Territorith, which is one of the new ones. This one you can flip any number of face-down monsters you control to face-down defense position, and the secondary effect is the opposite of it. However, it has a cool effect. When you get this flip summon, you can special summon one flip monster from your deck in face-down defense position. I only run one because considering I only run a total of like 4 of the flip effect monsters, it's not always going to be the most useful. It's definitely nice in getting the Bibliomuse to the field, which is definitely a card you do want on the field. I also run 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10. You know, it's really good in any ritual deck, more or less. I also run the 1 Incantation Inception. And of course, I run the 3 Candle, 3 Talismandra, 1 Bookstone, and the 1 Pencil Plume. Now, the incantations can essentially, you can reveal either a ritual spell or ritual monster, depending on which one. Then you can special summon themselves and one other ritual monster from your deck. And they each have an effect when they're special summoned from the deck. You can either add a ritual spell, add a ritual monster from deck, or add a ritual spell from grave or a ritual monster from grave. So definitely really good ritual support. And considering how slow Prediction Princess is because of the flip effect, you kind of need the incantations to kind of help speed up a little bit. Next, I run 3 Manju of the 1,000 Hands. If it's normal or flip summoned, you can add 1 ritual monster or 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Considering you with the Territorith, you can essentially recycle this effect if you need to, although chances are you aren't going to do that. I also run the 1 Diviner of Herald. Diviner of Herald is really good for the first effect where you can send a level 2 fairy monster from your hand or deck to graveyard, but also if it is summoned, you can send a fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Which is definitely really good because you can essentially get your Herald of the Arclight into the graveyard, and whenever Herald of the Arclight is to the graveyard, you can essentially add a ritual spell or a ritual monster. I also run the 1 Vandy's Ruler. It's not like Prediction Princess really puts up many negates, if any at all, so having a Vandy's Ruler to essentially just stop your opponent from playing is definitely really good. And lastly, I run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Underworld, Ritual of Prediction. Now originally I was running 3 of this and 2 copies of the Prediction Ritual, but unfortunately Prediction Ritual only works with the Territory, whereas the Underworld Ritual of Prediction works with both of the Prediction Princess Ritual monsters. And the cool thing is that this can use a ritual monster from your hand or graveyard for the ritual summon. Also run the 1 Incantation Inception. If you're running incantations, you gotta run this. Just an overall really good ritual spell. Honestly, I'd say it's probably one of the best ritual spells. One of that's because it can recur itself from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. I also run 3 Preparations of Rites. Preparations of Rites allows you to add a ritual spell card from your deck to hand and add 1 ritual monster from deck or graveyard to your hand, whose name is listed on the ritual spell card. So that's definitely really good to have. Also run the 3 copies of like Extra Foolish Burial Good. Or not Extra Foolish Burial Good, Extra Foolish Burial. Extra Foolish Burial allows you to pay half your life points to send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, so usually you're going to send the Herald of the Arclight or maybe even the Elder Entity and test it. That's really what you want to go for. And lastly, I run 3 Pot of Prosperity. Don't really have a lot of draw power in this deck, so and considering we don't use the extra deck too much, I figured it'd be a good card to really help get to the cards you really need to. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 3 Herald of Orange Light, which I had set before, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 ritual monster, 1 ritual spell from deck to hand. Definitely really good. Also run the 2 Elder Entity and Test. Most oftentimes you're going to go for the Arclight, but there will probably be some scenarios where maybe you want to go for the End Test for the Disruption if you're going second. Also run 1 Sacred Tree Beast Hyperton and 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus. Considering both of the Prediction Princess ritual monsters are level 9s, you can go into this and then just go into a Zeus. It's not going to come up too often, but it is a play that is there and that you can make. Also run the 1 Herald of Mirage Lights to negate if you run a bunch of berries. Throw in Cross Sheep, and Cross Sheep works really good with rituals, essentially. So if you were to ritual summon, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. So it can kind of fix your hand. Just overall card. Of course, I run an IP Masquerade package with Masquerena, Phoenix, Cerberus, and the Unicorn. I also run the 1 Borrel's Dragon and Access Code to help round up games, and Appaloosa, which doesn't come up too much, but sometimes will come up. That's it for my Prediction Princess deck. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this deck. I think it's pretty cool. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time I make. Bye.